Hi guys. Yeah, hi, I'm Danelia Bostito. This is your first time joining in. I am really just kind of starting this channel, so I've not really got a complete niche down packed. My kids are right off here playing close to the river, which is driving me crazy, driving me nuts. But anyway, what I really hope to bring to this channel is just a biblical worldview. That's my focus. I'll be talking about all types of different things. Obviously, I've talked about politics, and so I will touch on that here. I'll touch on education, I'll touch on family, I'll touch on church, and just life really from a biblical worldview. So today I'd like to talk about on my #WalkAway. I was talking about how as black communities we really need to come together. We need to focus on education, we need to focus on family, man, woman, child, doing things biblical, going back to the Bible. I was talking about how black communities really are shying away from the conservative way, and Republicans, and kind of have gone into this identity politics of just staying with the Democratic Party, which has all the perfect words and says all the right things, but really they're not doing anything for our communities. In fact, they're giving us handouts and keeping us down in reality. So I was talking about how this isn't good for us. If you just give someone a fish, you feed them for a day and they're going to keep coming back to you so you can feed them again. But if you teach them how to fish, right, then they now can feed themselves and feed others, and they can make a living, and they can survive and succeed. So I think Republicans are teaching to fish, whereas Democrats are just giving a fish. And so I think Republicans are what's right for black communities, poor communities, all these people who have kind of jumped on the Democrats and been there for a while, which I was raised with this mindset, so I get it, I understand. But we need to think for ourselves, and we need to really look around and look beyond people's words and look at the actions, look at our communities, how they changed. There's a focus on diversity and all of their different people. I'm going up for 2020. So what if they're diverse? Are we that shallow that's what matters to us? Is what people look like? This again is identity politics, and we need to get away from that. And anyway, my point was that as I was giving this video, I was talking about things that will matter. Family matters. A lot of these homes, these same families that are voting Democratic does not have a solid man leading and providing, and that has a big impact on our communities. That has a big impact on children. That has a big impact on women and how they see themselves and how they live life. So there's that. And then there's education, where we're almost so wrapped up in division that we don't realize that we can get a good education. We can make the best of the education we got. We can make our education better if we would actually care about it, and we can make a difference, and we can be made a difference in ourselves, and then we can give back to our community. Then we can be educated, and we can teach others, and we can build up our communities. But somebody said, yeah, you're right, family does matter. And then they said, black people marrying black people is how you build up black communities. But we come from one. We're one blood, one race. We have different levels of melanin, but we are humankind, and so we are one. And so I don't think we need to focus on things like my skin color. And I think that has really been a downfall of the black communities. Focus so much on that it causes division. That you compare yourselves to other, people of other colors and all these things, which if we would just not even think about it and just do the best that we can be and not, it's a shame because we're all these different colors. I mentioned colors, so there's different shades, but it seems to me we don't have different personalities. All these shades in the same exact personality, and if you gear out of that personality, somehow you're called all kind of names, Uncle Tom and all these other kind of names. People make fun of you, and why? Why? And so that's why I will do a video soon about why everybody needs Black history, and realize that, you know, okay, so let's just face it, people will see Black, and so we really need to see that, hey, Black people have made a difference in America and really the world, and it's not really taught so much. And so I think maybe because of the education system, a lot of Black people grow up and they don't see people who look like them doing great things. Our systems aren't showing that enough, and so therefore they are lacking in confidence that they can do something and be something, and they fear something outside of that. They fear something outside of being just like everybody else. Even I feared just being me, just saying what I believe, what I feel, what I know is right. The truth that I've seen, I've been afraid to just voice, because I know people are going to, you know, really shame me. You know, that's what really happens. Even in my own family, I'm shamed because of my feelings and view. I mean, I've had family members, not necessarily to myself, but say that I'm in a cult. I'm in a cult because I follow Jesus, because he's changed me and he's brought me out of some things and he's changed the way I think. The Word of God does that. I'm not in a cult, but I love my Jesus. And he's taught me and he changed my mind and he's shown me new things. He's transforming me. And I love it. I think it's a great thing. I've not gone to a bad place because of it. So I don't even know why anybody would have anything to say about it, because I'm more loving, I'm kinder. You know, I don't do all those things that was affecting me in a negative way and affecting my children in a negative way, affecting my nieces and nephews in a regular way. You'll see me with them all the time because I want to be a positive influence. And not only them, not only my family, but in the community as well. And that's why I'm doing these videos, is I just hope to reach outside as far as I can, just to say that, hey, be comfortable with being you. And I just want to ask, do you believe that? Do you believe that I don't have a voice because I married a white person, and so therefore my opinion for community doesn't matter? My opinion for Black community doesn't matter, even though I have a heart for it, even though I'm from it, even though I've lived it, even though I am living it, because, you know, I live in a poor community. I mean, to me, you want to say Black communities, most Black communities I find, at least that I've ever been to, are poorer communities. And so anyway, I just want to know, what do you guys feel about that? Do you think that my voice is less, my children's is less, because they are part Black, part white? You know, again, I come with a big biblical worldview, which says that we are all from one race. We are humankind, and I care about the humans who seem to have a lower degree of opportunity. Although it's there, I should say they don't take advantage as much as the opportunity that they have, because they have this viewpoint based solely on the way they look or the community around them. They don't think that they can get out more. They have kind of a slave mentality, if I could just say that, and they even are focused on slavery. Why? Because that's what they teach in our schools. This is the main focus of Black education, of what they teach on a regular in our education systems, our public education systems, about what Black is. You see slavery, you see the civil rights movement, you see these who are prominent in the civil rights movement, but way before that, Black people have been making a difference. And a lot of times they weren't even given the credit, but we know that they've done things. And so, again, I'll put that video out at some point of why it's important for every person in the entire world to take Black history, and not just Black history. I think we need to just look at history as a whole and see all parts, not just the good of certain people, but all parts of all people, because that's our history, that's reality, and that's who we are as individuals. We are good, we are bad, we are everything in between. And I think as in humanity, we should just do our best. So again, I start with a biblical worldview. I think that we all come from the same place, and I think that we all could have the same opportunity if we would choose to take advantage of it. And I think that my voice should matter. I think it does. I think it should matter because I care. I think it should matter because I'm trying to make a difference. And so the guy, you know, we had a whole conversation. He doesn't believe in God, so I think that's part of it. I think that's a part of really all of our communities. I don't know in my community, I think we just have to go back to the Bible. And I think if everybody would, first of all, they'd realize that we don't need to be divisive on things like the color of our skin, even where we come from, even how much our income is. I mean, America is the melting pot. We have all races here. We have all nationalities, all ethnicities here. And yes, I do believe there's only one way. I do believe that Jesus is the answer. I think that Jesus is the way, because he's the only one of all the gods that that really, first of all, really exists. Number one. Number two, is alive. Every other god that you've ever seen or known is from a humanistic viewpoint, and they died at some point. Now, Jesus died, but he rose again. So, you know, he's alive in heaven now. And I do believe in him, and I believe that anybody who does believe in him, who's took time to really test him, to seek him out in the scriptures, that they will find him to be real in their life too. And I just cannot, I will not believe that you've really sought and not found him. Because he said, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened. And so that's what needs to happen in our communities. And I do believe that it doesn't take a black man and a black woman to build up a black community. It takes people who care to build up a black community. It takes people who will educate if they're educated, who will give back if they've been given plenty, and to teach, and not just give, but teach, that people can grow and be, like I said about the fish, not just be given a fish, but be taught to fish, and be taught how that now that you know how to fish, let's teach others how to fish. And that goes on. And of course, I'm talking about real life situations. I'm talking about how not to get pregnant, that you're not out there aborting your child, to love yourself so much that you'll wait and not go have sex with some random person who just told you something nice about yourself. Feel good about yourself, that you don't need that you can wait, that you are educated enough that you can wait, and you don't have to fit in with everybody around you. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, that's how we help each other. We help each other by saying, I'm going to loosen out of what everybody else is saying and what everybody else is thinking, because it's gotten us nowhere. It's gotten us into a place where we've become our own enemies. We've become our own enemies. And I'm talking about all communities. So that's what, I mean, you know, this is just a little truth nugget that I just wanted to throw out there. And I do want to know, do you think that my voice doesn't matter? And that's what feared me from even starting this kind of, for talking out, is because I already felt my voice didn't matter. Like I said, when I grew up, and where I grew up is a predominantly white area, and so the black people in my community would link up. Of course, that's just natural, but I didn't necessarily fit in with them, and I didn't want to necessarily fit in with like a certain group or anything. I just wanted to be me, and so in being me, I didn't fit in there. And then so I have that, and then I think my voice doesn't matter because, I mean, who am I? You know, and then I fall in love with and marry someone who's white, so therefore now I have kids who are mixed, and so to me, it seems like, and just like this guy has said, like my voice now is diluted, right? I can't have a voice anymore. And that's crap, I think, but I think that it's their choice. And if people won't listen to me because of those things, I mean, what can I do about it, right? But I'll continue to give a biblical worldview, and it's my hopes that you will be blessed with truth today.